Welcome today to Environmental Dialogue here at UCTV. I'm your host, Dickens Ochero. I'm here always to bring for you different experts, different people from the government, from civil society, from CBOs, and community even leaders who should come, or we always invite them here to share with you what's happening around the world, around part of Africa, Uganda. And you know, there has been a lot which is happening within the environmental spaces that some people are calling it as negligence, some people are calling it as maybe God is annoyed with us. You know, people have a lot of narrative, and you cannot blame them for their misconception or maybe for the information that they are feeding on. And that's why for us, UCTV Environmental Dialogue, we bring you people from these different spaces to take you through, to explore for you deeper things so that you get to understand why are all these things are happening. And you know that currently there is something that has been sparking a lot of attention within Kampala and also other part of the country, especially in Sebei, in northern Uganda, in Karamoja, and now in the city center here in Kampala. And that's the reason why I said, you know what, I need to bring for you a young person who has been a warrior for the Mother Earth, who has been doing a lot of intervention within the youth spaces, the community spaces, coming up with innovations that can keep all these crises that we have been talking about. And this person is not new here on this set. He has been coming, he's a friend of UCTV Environmental Dialogue. And you know, this person who is really profound within the environmental space that I cannot take a lot of time to give me some minutes to greet you, my dear viewers. I know that he has taken some time without coming here and, you know, you're having a conversation with us. But today, he is here, Mr. Arthur Blick. You're most welcome. Please greet the viewers before we go into the in-depth discussion of today.
Thank you, Dickens, and greetings, Uganda, our viewers and listeners. It's a pleasure and an honor always to be back here at UCTV. My name is Sanyu Arthur Blick. I work with an entity called Anchors for Youth Afrika, and we are focused mainly on solid waste management as one of the biggest interventions led by young people. But for us, like we always say, from waste to wealth. Thank you so much, Dickens.
All right then, Arthur, thank you very much for coming through. I know that viewers, they are very happy here to see you again here on the set at UCTV Environmental Dialogue. All right then, without waste of time, our topical discussion, you know, is something that has been sparking a lot of attention, especially here in Kampala. And you know what has been happening within the city, within Sebei region, Karamoja, that even we saw some of the video clips where the president was using a chopper for his campaign because of, you know, the flooding intensity. That's the reason why today we are having this topic of discussion of from waste to water, and we are seeing how are we tackling the Kampala flood crisis for sustainable waste management within the city, all the urban setup within the country here. And this is the discussion that today we want to break it down, because Arthur is a person that has been dealing with waste recycling. They have been doing a lot of things within waste and seeing that at least some of other communities that they are operating in, they have sustainable waste management initiatives that have been put in places. And this has been something which is really very profound within those areas. And that's the reason why I say, Arthur, you know what, due to this crisis, we have seen people losing their life in Sebei, people in Kampala, the traders were making noise that they cannot even, they made losses, a lot of losses, due to this flooding crisis within the city. So Arthur, without waste of time,
yes,
why are we having all this kind of from waste to water? Because we have seen that whenever rain falls in Kampala, Kampala drowns.
Yeah.
And we have seen even that it's affecting even other communities up country, which is a very big thing. So what are really the real guests of all this crisis which is happening?
Thank you, Dickens. For starters, I want to inform the country that Kampala is seated on the 7 hills.
Yeah.
So Kampala is on the different hills. So that in effect means that when we are seated on the hills, the valleys then collect the water.
Yes.
So if the city is not mindful about that architectural design, we are prone to getting those floods. Now, the valleys down where the city is have all been developed.
Yeah.
Human pressure in terms of development, in terms of constructions, in terms of arcades, in terms of what have taken over what used to be the runaway absorption points.
Yeah.
So the valleys that used to carry water from uphill and channel the water through have all been constructed on and have been all stopped. So why are we seeing it?
Apartments have taken over.
The arcades are all over. They are seated on the routes where water used to pass. Yeah. Now that means as
someone
a country,
say that they have placed them in the home of water.
The water has nowhere to pass,
yeah.
So it has to find a way. So when in the process of finding a way, those are the different effects we are seeing now. Now, as a country, this is our time to start asking ourselves the right questions.
Yeah.
If we know water passes this side, what should be the best way to promote development alongside the natural course?
Yeah.
So that we are able to still allow water to move, but also spur development. Development is part of us, we can't run away from it. But we should be mindful on how we do development vis-a-vis the natural causes, the natural course of the weather and the climate.
Yes.
So what we are seeing, we shouldn't be shocked. This is not something that has come out of the blue. We knew it as a country.
Yes.
We know it as a country. We are still going to face it tomorrow as a country.
Yes.
Until we sit down and say, how do we do it better? We have been seeing floods along the country. In Kasese, we know. Every year, this is the song. Ministry of the Office of the Prime Minister has what they call the National Emergency Coordination Center.
Yes.
Every year, I don't know what they coordinate. But we have already structures that already know that next year there are going to be floods. Kampala City, this is not the first time. Maybe it has been so coincidental that it has happened when someone has constructed something.
And people never expected that rain could pour like this.
But we should be able to see these are patterns we have seen over time. This is what we call climate change. This is climate. It is not a weather condition of 1 hour. It is years.
Yes.
It has taken years over time. So as a country, now is the time. I have a friend of mine who keeps on telling me now we need to shift the gears.
Yeah.
We have been doing a lot of emergency response.
Okay.
We are not doing a lot of pre-response.
We wait after the crisis.
We wait for the crises. We have the National Meteorological, the Uganda National Meteorological Authority. Yes. They should have a budget for early warning systems. When you look through their budget, you may not see specifically what has been tagged along early warning systems in a country. Like Victoria, the other year had started rising. We can't tell. We only see it when our homes are getting flooded. But we have already institutions in government that are mandated to kindly pre-plan and help us avert the situations. So as a country, we are so much into post-mortem, which is rather an absurd thing. And I am calling upon colleagues in the civil society, let's put our efforts into pre.
Yes.
We are exposed to information now, we are learned, we have seen these things happen. We shouldn't be lamenting like any other person. Now it was our time for us to start planning. What happens in Kampala, it is just the beginning. Rains are still coming through.
Yes.
Kampala Capital Authority has a master plan.
Yes.
Why don't we implement it? What is the challenge? So currently we are asking government to allow us to do things that can help prevent rather than respond to issues. The colleagues in Sebe, the other day a colleague shared with me a photo of a woman who was stuck halfway. They are digging her body from the mud. She's half.
That's the incident.
Yes. The body is stuck. They are still pulling her out. So we have very many bodies that are still undiscovered in Sebe. But why? Because we already have institutions that are mandated to be telling us. Now, the whole of Sebei region has to have a plan of how to respond to mudslides and floods. We don't need to wait for it next year so that we respond, look for food, look for clothes, emergency shelter. Those can be done as of when, but we should be able to mitigate some of those challenges before they come through.
Even the adaptation measures, because now, what does it take for someone just to plant a tree?
I know, and that has been the call. That has been the call of various civil society organizations. Now, I know there is a campaign under, I think, NEMA and NFA of and tree also, planting.
Yeah, the Roots campaign.
The Roots campaign, yes. But this we need more awareness. We need more sensitization. We need more champions, country champions. Now is the time for us to select country champions and reward them for taking lead into that. Now, we need also to harness the technology in terms of promoting this information, making it more youth-friendly. These TikToks, these should be the channels that promote these engagements across the country. For us as a country, as Aya, we know that one of the issues why we have a lot of flooding in Kampala is because of poor waste handling. I want to still call upon this government that we can promote eco-friendly technologies that can reduce the impact of these waste, solid waste, most especially solid waste in running water.
Don't you think that the Chitezi crisis and saga that happened last year was like also a warning to the government that said that if you don't come out with ABC, this kind of intervention, or maybe bringing people like organizations like Aya, people who are into waste management, innovative waste management, and also some of the researchers from like Makerere, Chambogo University, at least to help with this crisis, because I know that Chitezi issue was not the only thing. It was something that was sending as a signal.
It was a signal in truth.
That please look at the future. This is how the future might be if we don't sit down and we focus. So what do you think that really the government can do really to avoid all this?
I think now Chitezi has spent over 1 year.
Yes.
It has happened. Now the question would be, what steps have we taken as a country to move forward? Because then having Chitezi come through and all of us were in shock, how many people are dying, the question would be, are we seeing steps that have been now put in place that there is no more Chitezi coming up?
Yes.
So the question would have to address is, what technologies are we promoting that can hinder the Chitezi? What policies, the policies might be in place, but what are we doing to ensure that we don't see another Chitezi coming through? So yes, it was an eye-opener, but I have strong belief that we have not moved a lot as a country in terms of the technologies, in terms of the private partnerships, because these are things that really address, that really help us address. For instance, how many investors have we brought on board as a country to prioritize waste handling as a country, to prioritize technologies that we can harness from the waste management? So those things, yes, Chitezi is there, but Chitezi is coming back after 2 years. It happened, we have gone back to reverse mode. It will come back and then we realize that it is not there. I was privileged to have a discussion with the Uganda Association of Consulting Engineers, and our argument was simple. How do we then promote construction with a percentage of eco-friendly technologies?
Yeah.
For instance, if we are saying, for instance, every construction you have up, we should have a percentage of the materials from eco-friendly technologies. For instance, the bricks, for instance, the pavers. Those, once you have such, then you're going to promote investors into it, because there is market already. There is goodwill already. There is buying in. Engineers, whichever engineer is on each side.
And there is a cost cutting.
Exactly. So once you promote it, then the private players will come in, and then the cost of production will be low, and people will embrace the technology. Ultimately, you will cut in terms of what the effects would be of climate change. So as we're engaging with more stakeholders, our appeal is that climate change is here to stay. It starts with you and me. We can only do what we are supposed to do. But the government is the biggest investor in all this.
But you see that people are always waiting for the government first to take action. You see that someone who is a minister, a commissioner, is seated there on air conditioner office and is trying to attend to other things, A, B, C, D. But he will not know what's happening in Waise, what's happening in Kalorere, downtown, or Nakawa. He will not. So that's why now you see this issue whereby people coming out on media and say government to Yam. But how can government help you when for you cannot do like for you? You are saying that most of this flooding are caused by poor dumping, waste management. Someone is buying a bottle of water after taking it, and you just throw it within even the city, and you see. And I think within last week, I was sitting in the taxi. Then the driver, after buying his soda, he took and he threw the bottle just in front of it. And I said, first stop. What you're doing is not right. You're a big person. What are you showing that this is? And you are the people.
And that's where the point is, because I think we have a missed opportunity in role models.
Yeah.
Role modeling, and government is usually faulted for having a policy, but then you cannot walk through the policy.
Yes.
There was a time when we had, I think, a policy on baskets in the car.
Yes, having those disposable baskets.
Small baskets.
Yeah.
And I think whoever did the project, it got finished, he didn't follow through. So I want to encourage our friends in the ministries that mindset is a process.
Yeah.
You don't start something and then you say, people can start, people know there is a policy. No, it's not there. People need to be reminded over and over again. For me, I keep telling colleagues at work that it starts with you from your home.
Yes.
When your son sees you doing something over time, he knows that's what people do. For us in public spaces, when we see our public leaders do things over time, we know that's what exactly people do.
Yeah.
So when you drink a bottle of soda and throw it in the main road and everyone says, that's how people do it. So it starts with us. But it also comes with how the environment is set. For example, there was a time in Kampala where you do not dump something just like that.
Yeah, I remember.
There was a certain time in Kampala City where before you dump, you look left and right, who is seeing?
Who is seeing, yeah.
And that was a mindset that was being built over time. But naturally, it went on flowing down. So it starts with us, yes, but again, our leaders do a lot in terms of setting the trend,
yes,
in terms of implementation, in terms of follow-up. Let's see punitive measures taking place. For instance, if someone has dumped a kavera, can we see someone being arrested and charged or given community service to collect all the veras the whole day, 12 hours, morning to evening? Don't take them to Luzira. Luzira is already full. Let them collect from Owino up to, and the whole TVs are watching him and the question is, what has he done? He has dumped a kavera. Tomorrow when you're coming to city, you'll be watching your neighbor. Simple small things done over time and can lead us to where we want to go. Mindset is very big, but we also need role models in terms of implementation of these policies. All
right then, Arthur, we have come to the first segment of this show for today. That you see that the discussion is getting hotter and hotter, and still more are flowing that we are going through to digest this, to break it down so that you get to understand that. So I want us just to go for a short commercial break. Then we shall get back into this discussion, which we are still going to look at, to borrow. Can we borrow some of the initiative from maybe the other world, or do what's called technological transfer to, if we can incorporate it here in the city or other part of this country. All right then, let's go for a short commercial break and we shall get back. Thank you.
UCTV. Good news for all.
Tiene que soñar.
Hello and welcome to UCTV. Welcome to Connect with Mary.
You're the Alpha and the Omega.
Uganda Catholic Television. I'm Sunday Gloria Watch with UCTV News.
We need people to pay for content.
Bernardo Silva, Matheus Nunes, and Haaland!
Swings it across to Christie.
UCTV. Good news for all.
Are you 18 to 35 years old? Live your life to the fullest with the Center Evolution Youth Savings Account. With the Center Evolution Youth Savings Account, you get a free ATM card, no monthly charges, free bank drafts for school fees payments, and attractive interests. And that's not all. Enjoy access to financial literacy, entrepreneurship opportunities, and bank loans. Opening the Center Evolution Youth Savings Account is your ticket to a brighter future. For more information, please visit any of the nearest branches today or call our toll-free line 0800 200 555 or 0800 335 344.
Centenary Bank.
Kuleza Farm with Centenary Bank, agribusiness solar loan of up to 50 million shillings for a solar-powered irrigation system on your farm. Enjoy a grace period tailored to your cash flows and loan offer amounts from 100,000 up to 50 million Uganda shillings with flexible loan periods up to 60 months. Apply for a Centenary Bank agribusiness solar loan through our branches, agents, and enjoy a fixed interest rate of just 1.7% per month. Kuleza Farm with Centenary Bank agribusiness solar loan today and watch your farming dreams come to life. Visit any of our nearest branch today or call our toll-free line 0800 200 555 or 0800 335 344.
Centenary Bank.
Centenary Bank is a member of the Center Group regulated by Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits of up to 10 million shillings are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda. Terms and conditions apply. Kuleza Farm with Centenary Bank, agribusiness solar loan of up to 50 million shillings for a solar-powered irrigation system on your farm. Enjoy a grace period tailored to your cash flows and loan offer amounts from 100,000 up to 50 million Uganda shillings with flexible loan periods up to 60 months. Apply for a Centenary Bank agribusiness solar loan through our branches, agents, and enjoy a fixed interest rate of just 1.7% per month. Kuleza Farm with Centenary Bank agribusiness solar loan today and watch your farming dreams come to life. Visit any of our nearest branch today or call our toll-free line 0800 200 555 or 0800 335 344.
Centenary Bank.
Centenary Bank is a member of the Center Group regulated by Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits of up to 10 million shillings are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello and welcome back to Connect with Mary on the Uganda Catholic Television. Good news for all. Today, like I told you earlier, we are going to talk about the 7 sorrows of Mary.
You know, for me, the strength of Mary, I think, we are looking at Mary as a symbol of strength and resilience.
When Simeon saw Jesus, because the angel had, God had revealed to him that he will not die until he sees.
If it was not the woman, the mother of Jesus.
Support the Uganda Catholic Television with MTN Momo. Step 1. Dial *165*3#. Step 2. Enter merchant code 180572. Step 3. Enter any amount from 500 Uganda shillings. Step 4. Pay using MTN mobile money. Step 5. Enter PIN code and send. Step 6. You will receive a confirmation text for supporting the Uganda Catholic Television.
Do
more with Center Mobile app. Move with your bank and pay water bills, school fees, pay light, withdraw or deposit money, pay for DSTV or GoTV, pay for Star Times, open app accounts, get loans, and so much more. Download the Center Mobile app on Google Play Store or App Store now. For more information, call our toll-free line or chat with us on WhatsApp. Centenary Bank. Centenary Bank is a member of the Center Group regulated by Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits of up to 10 million shillings are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda.
The Mbara Ecclesiastical Province Association, MEPA, annual pilgrimage to Namgongo is here again. Mark your calendars for Sunday, the 9th of November 2025 at the Uganda Martyrs Shrine, Namgongo. This year's spiritual journey is animated by Kasese Diocese with the main celebrant, Right Reverend Francis Aquinas Chibira, Bishop of Kasese Diocese. Join the faithful from every corner of Uganda in a day of prayer, faith and renewal under the uplifting theme, Let's Live Our Faith and Serve God and Neighbor in Company with Mother Mary. Don't miss this holy encounter at Namgongo Martyrs Shrine. Come, be transformed, and walk together in faith with Mother Mary as our guide.
UCTV. Good news for all.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. We are still here with you here, trying to diversify things, explore more and more of this climate crisis within the city, within the urban areas, and within the Sebei region, Karamoja, Western. All we are here to make sure you get all that information. You have just heard of the Sebei landslide, which happened in Queen, and over 16 people or others. We don't know, even the government has not yet come back with the actual total of people who perished in the landslide. And you have heard of the Kasese flooding. You have heard of even roads in that in northern Uganda. That's the little bridge being washed away by the rain, that the president could not even have his convoy car to get to the campaign ground that he was organized for. He had to use a helicopter to cross there. So a lot has been happening within this period of the rainy season. And that's why my colleague is saying that as we are preaching about the early warning system, are we really ready? Does the government has really that docket that say that we are prepared in case of any emergency in this regards? And that's the reason why now I'm coming to set up a first that I said now. As him and his organization, they've been doing a lot of things in Kamwanyi area, in Luzira. They've been operating in Entebbe, and we have seen some of the sustainable waste management systems or initiatives that have been they are put in place, which is really working out, which is sustainable, and it has been embraced by the community. So now, my question to him, Arthur, is why has some of these initiatives that you people have been doing in Kamwanyi, in Entebbe area, why can't you really sell this initiative to KCCA or maybe, because the city operation really you need to deal with KCCA, since they have seen that they have released the master plan, the strategic master plan for flooding crisis from 2025 to 2030. So why can't at least you guys maybe have a time of presentation or pitching this idea, some of, because you have worries everyone can see, and is seeing that this has been done by Aya, and is helping this community to come out of all these crises which they are facing. Why can't the government come up with those partition partnership with organization like Aya, with organization like Network for Active Citizen, Youth Go Green, some of these NGOs, CBOs, who understand the community issues, rather than someone who is coming, you're bringing someone from some country who doesn't understand the challenges that this community is facing.
Thank you, Dickens. I I want to start with laying your fears that we are working with government.
Yes.
All the things we do, we don't do them in isolation. We work with different government entities. We run a campaign called Keep Lake Victoria Clean.
Yes.
And we work usually with Balmwezo Foundation.
Yes.
We work usually with Nakawa division, and that is government at KCCA. I also want to highlight the contribution of NEMA in this. Although that as we're engaging in these things, we have definitely we have our challenges. For example, in terms of garbage collection, whenever we clean up the Lake Victoria, desilting it, the what, ultimately what we clean up may not all be disposed of.
Yeah, that's true.
In terms of the infrastructure, the trucks that carry, in terms of sorting, so we are picking one problem, taking it to another problem.
Yeah.
I think for us, we are trying to build a mindset in terms of protecting the aqua life, but also the value chain of that protection is not completed. One, in terms of policy, why should we allow manufacturers to continue producing these plastics and dump them there? Secondly, we are in terms of the 3 R's, the reuse, repackage, and sorting. So we are not finishing that. We are not helping our community, but we are building it over time. Now, as entities, we are challenged by one. Of course, we don't have the capacity to keep running. These ventures are very expensive to run. So the question your question is, why doesn't government invest in us? Now, government in itself doesn't have money. They are trying to resource mobilize so that they are bringing people who have the money to come and invest in such entities. Now that in itself sidelines the locals that have the initiatives you're saying. But our call to government would be is that we need to prioritize such initiatives, like you're saying. Like I was saying the authority that is mandated in pre-warning, dissemination, assessment of the different risks just gets a 12 billion annual budget. That money through this country, where we have Sebei, we have Rwenzori, we have the Chigezi, we have Central in Kampala, with all flooded, is just a drop in the ocean. So we are requesting government to increase budget allocations to such entities so that they can be able to respond before, not after.
Yeah.
For example, early warning systems, they are not cheap to come with, but also we need to invest in them so that now they move with the technologies that are available, the AI technologies.
Yes.
We are, as in 2025, we should be having some technologies that pre-warn us 2 months to go.
Yeah.
I've seen some technology in Europe where, for instance, the sirens go off and tell you guys in the next 2 weeks we are going to have heavy floods around Kampala. And the people who are there are then prepared to evacuate and replace or something like that. But that is something that is not invested in by AYA, by NAC, by Go Green, by those are small entities. So that needs a huge government investment. It needs us to prioritize climate effects. And that is where the missed opportunity is. We love to sing about climate change, but we don't love to do initiatives that avert climate change. So as a country, our prayer is that we focus more in terms of mitigation and in terms of prevention.
Yeah.
And then the cost of prevention is usually cheaper compared to response, where we shall come with fly helicopters. Some people will not reach there, they need to fly them there, bring blankets, bring, those things, how we, Uganda, we usually do our things. But it is much more long term for us to plan in prevention. Can we invest in early warning systems as a country?
Yeah.
I have not seen anywhere there is an early warning system for whether floods, whether drought or anything. We don't have any such technologies. If it is not there, then it is sleeping inside. It is not being utilized properly.
I remember a farmer one day said like that if he had the capacity, if like the environmental court was there, that he would have taken the people who are in the ministry under meteorological authority, he would have shoot them to court. Because why do they tell them that it will rain in next month and the rain is coming in December?
It's coming. So I don't blame them. We usually have an issue with the technology advancement. The technology, we need to upgrade our technologies into real-time technologies. You find someone is still using a technology that is reading things that are coming after. They are called the relayed broadcast. So you produce it now, but it comes in the next 40 minutes. So it is relayed. So the technologies must be up to date, but they don't have a budget. They can only dance with what they have. For me, I am quite sure that if we empowered that department, we would see more changes. When we were working back in the days when I was working in the Rwenzori region, we used to have the disaster risk reduction program under World Vision, and my job was actually to climb the mountains and keep sensitizing guys that this month, anytime from now, I didn't have the specifics, would get data from the authority, and then for us we'll translate it and then disseminate it to the community. But our job was to make sure that we tell people rains are coming. It's October, November, December, rains are coming. Can we plan? Can we try to mitigate? Can we do the terraces? Can we do, the community way?
Yeah.
So that when the rains, because the community knows how to avert these situations. The only issue is they are also now, because of climate change, they are not so sure when rains are coming.
Yeah.
So they need that information in real time so that they start doing things that can help them be able to go through the times without a lot of challenges. But the challenge is the information does not move out. The information is not relayed on time. The information somehow is not it is not tallying with what actually is on the ground. Yeah. So we find ourselves in a more hesitant situation that you tell me information and I'm like, is that information correct? Let me wait and see. And when I wait and see, the whole day it rains. So by the time I start thinking of how to do the mitigation, the issues are already in place. So as government, one, increase the budget, but also support entities that are having initiatives that support climate change mitigation.
Yeah.
So for me, I still want to applaud all the efforts of those young people who are doing any initiative, call it afforestation, call it plastic solid waste management, pollution. There we have now sensors for clean air. Those are all initiatives that are helping us as a community to manage situations and raise awareness about the different issues.
Yeah.
So now is the time for government to take lead, and 2030 is not far. We are supposed to report as a government in terms of the nationally determined contributions.
Yeah.
And now is the time for us to embrace the private partnership, the public-private partnership in terms of addressing these climate change issues.
Yeah. So you spoke about technology, and we have seen just recently, I read a report from Denmark and Sweden, whereby they were saying that they were looking for waste from other countries because they have run out of that waste, that they no longer see waste around. Denmark, Sweden, and they were looking to buy waste from other countries. And I was asking myself, what kind of technology that these people use that really a whole country government is asking for waste? When for us here, we have a lot of waste. But you see that even with all waste that we have around our country, you've seen that even some of organizations like your organization, Uganda Kingdom, came up with an initiative called Wuchupana Sente it's a good initiative. We have seen other people coming up with creativity, with art, also contributing that. But now, such a country like Denmark and Sweden, do you think that if we borrow their technology, because I know that under also all this COP engagement that we go for the negotiation, we have that part for negotiation, and we have always had Mr. Ondore who negotiate for us in line with technology, advancement, transfer within the country. Don't you think that such countries can be like a learning ground platform for us, Uganda, because of the crisis right now that we are facing in our cities, in the urban area? Can really the technology within like those countries like Sweden and Denmark, can it really be applied here, or maybe there?
I think it is very possible. Currently, as we talk today, I want to use the common people's approach. There is what they call scrap dealers. Now, as you construct your house today, there is going to be someone looking for scrap. Before you even finish constructing, your house will be clean. People would have taken all the scrap.
Yes.
Why? Because they are getting monetary value out of it.
Yes.
And it has been encouraged. Now, we can also re-energize, we can also shift those energies into plastics.
Yeah.
I love those initiatives of Uganda Kingdom, the ones of, I think is the other TV station, Coca-Cola, then the Total. Pepsi. Those initiatives are good, but they are only good if they reach the last person.
Where a layman there in the community.
Once the practice reaches the last person, then they become good. But as we talk now, if they are still in the boardrooms, they're on TV, they're on what, and they are not being practiced on the ground. For instance, you're asking that, if for instance, let me use the common one of Tass of Tonde. If the Tass of Tonde had, for instance, a grant of sorts, an amount, for instance, for every entity that has technology that, for instance, consumes 10,000 plastics out of the society every month, and you'll win yourself $10,000. Do you think Ugandans will still remain going for scrap without going for plastics? If there is such a grant running, the young people will definitely look for technologies that will consume the plastics. Because they are going to have an economic benefit out of it.
That's true.
Now, once we don't find a last person looking for an economic benefit out of it, then it doesn't serve the purpose. Because we can do them in the boardrooms, we can talk we are here talking about them in the TV, but for as long as they go back to my village and they find someone still using the same technology, then we are not serving. So I would encourage us to shift the gear from, I don't want to call it lamentations as someone used to say it, but we need a more proactive approach where we are encouraging, without talking, we're encouraging young people to invest in technologies that consume plastics, that consume waste, that avert climate change. I am glad Uganda was I can call it being celebrated for the $31 million US.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good gesture. Now, it should trickle down to the last person that, look here, we have this fund. For anyone contributing to this, you'll be entitled to a 5,000, a 10,000. We have a basket where whoever has technologies that support us address the issues of climate change will benefit from. Then it will trickle down to the last person. In Kabramaido, in Chegegwa, in Sinjiro, everyone would be able to look at how we can benefit from the 31 basket we have as Uganda, but consequently we shall be addressing local challenges of climate change.
Okay, you spoke of the $31 billion that we have received. We are the first African country. That's first of all, we need to thank the Ministry of Water and Environment and the Ministry of Finance for their entire effort for bringing us, being the first, which is really, it's a blessing. But now a question that you have said that, how will this fund really, the Green Climate Fund, help really with such crisis that right now we have within that city and urban, is it really that the government should look for this, like CSOs, NGOs, or maybe they look at other, because we have been speaking about those technology transfer, but we have also what's called indigenous knowledge within that community.
Yes.
Should the government really embrace such initiative to support their effort, or maybe
indigenous knowledge has been proved to work?
Yeah.
Because your context is not my context.
Especially in Sebei area.
The Sebei is not the same in Rwenzori. The Rwenzori is not the same in Central. So we must be able to tap in such opportunities. Now, what government, and I want to look into the camera and appeal to government, that now is the time for us to put up a call for all partners, private, public, and any other individual that has technologies, local contextualized technologies that support us, and let's embrace it.
Yeah.
I am still an ardent supporter of Build Uganda.
Yeah.
The Bubu policy. Now is the time for us to, whatever technologies we have, let's support these guys in terms of testing the technology, in terms of promoting it, in terms of owning it, in terms of patenting it. There is no country that is going to develop if we are not happy with our very own. So we are glad we have such a fund. Put out a call and let people pitch. Yeah. Let them exhibit, let them showcase what they have, and then we support them. Locally, step by step, we should be able to drive our agenda, climate agenda, better with our own technology and improved engagements.
All right then, Arthur. Going into that now, the last part of the discussion, we have Conference of Parties, that's 30, that's COP30 in Belém in Brazil, which is coming, which is probably starting next week. That's from 10th to 22nd in Brazil. So we have seen, we have been having the pre-COP engagement, we are moving from right to left, all that. So what are some of your key points that you see that the government should address? Because we have all over all these 8 negotiations areas that the government has in mitigation, adaptations, capacity building, in agriculture. We are seeing all this. What are some of your key points that you know that really, that our negotiators, or maybe I know that maybe you might have an opportunity also to go to Brazil, that you say that this is what I see that should be addressed? Because at least we have seen the effort of our negotiators, that they have managed to bring for us the $31 million already in our basket here in Uganda to do with all these things, this issue of climate crisis that we have. So what are some of the things that now you're looking at as you?
For us as a country, I think our focus and our biggest effort should be on the green technologies.
Yeah.
And we believe that these technologies are supporting us, are positioning us better in the 21st century. Now, the biggest of the young people in this country don't know about the COP30.
That's very
Those
true.
are discussions that have remained at ministerial level. Those are discussions about being championed by elite youth organizations, and I call them elite with an emphasis because it's not that it's a discussion on the corridor. You never hear it on any radio station.
Yeah.
It must be in either NEMA boardroom, it must be either in a ministry boardroom, it must be either in one of those environmental organizations, high level. We need to start disseminating information for us to be able to achieve better.
That's true.
And together. Now, information means that it helps us build a mindset, it helps us build a brand as an organization, as a country. But for as long as information is still remaining, like I said, as long as the 31 million is known by the NEMA and the ministry, and people will not feel it.
Yeah.
So information must trickle down to the last person. COP30 is happening, no one knows. It's not a story anywhere in the corridors. And yet these are serious global discussions.
Yes.
That each one of us must be able to understand what is happening. You know how, like, let me take you to football. World Cup is starting next year, but one.
But the discussion.
But the discussion is already there.
Yeah.
I don't know how we fail to build such a momentum.
Yeah.
That the whole world is meeting in, for instance, the other time it was meeting. No, let me not go
right
to World Cup. AFCON. Football is, Uganda is going to host. You know, everyone, even in the village, everyone knows we are going to host AFCON. Now, that is the same that should happen in COP30. That we are having climate challenges as a country, globally. We need to be knowing, we need to be aware of what are the trends across the globe. What should our leaders, what should our negotiators take as priority? What should our governments prioritize on? So such information needs to cascade down. And I don't know how best we can do it to ensure that we know we have the champions, but we don't feel the vibe. I want to call it a vibe, because the vibe means every one of us gets to know what we are going to engage in the next week.
Yeah.
So as a country, information should be priority, but also green technologies will propel us in the 21st century.
Yeah.
We need to invest more. We need to attract more investors. We need to engage more. We need to engage more with these emitters. For instance, carbon emissions, we need to engage more as a country in terms of how we benefit.
Oh.
Yes.
All right then. We are remaining with only 3 minutes to get to the last segment of our show. I just before really, you know, we go to the counting down, I want just Mr. Arthur Blick just to give us his parting shot before we leave.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor. But as I leave these beautiful studios, I want to encourage our colleagues in the construction companies. I want to call in the eco-friendly entrepreneurs. I want to call upon governments and policymakers to embrace the new technologies we as a country are trying to put across. And these technologies are more into construction. Like I said earlier, IA is more focused on say bringing out construction materials, alternative from the traditional ones.
Yeah.
And these are plastic bricks, plastic pavers, and we think we can contribute a lot in terms of averting the climate crisis we have in the country using those technologies.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right then, Arthur, thanks for coming always. I know that you have now been a family, part of the family of UCTV Environmental Dialogue. And you know, as time always is not our best ally, but you know that we need always to work within that period, that you understand certain things that have been happening, and you've really understood the perspectives of climate informations that we have been tackling here at the studio. And I want to also let you, because we as UCTV Environmental Dialogue, we give you some of the information that is happening within the corridors of Pearl of Africa, that you know we are prepared. Uganda is preparing for COP30 in Brazil, in Belém, which is starting from 10th to 22nd. And if you've got accreditation from the ministry and you know that you're able to sponsor yourself to go and attend and listen to this global discussion.
But also tell them how much it costs.
That you need to have something equivalent to 50 to 70 million in your pocket you're able to self-sponsor yourself. Or maybe you get organizations that are willing to sponsor you. It's also you can go and really hear this global discussion and you learn a lot of things that are taking place within the world. Then also, I would love to thank Girls of Mempros, spearheaded by Sharon Achola. You guys are a credible documentary. They did a documentary in Pakwach, which was speaking loud about the climate change, how it affects the women and the livelihood. That was something really credible, and we would applaud you for that. And I need to applaud you girls for that, for doing that. Then I also want to applaud Girls for Climate Action. They are carrying out something to do with the water crisis, which we are preaching about in Jinja, around Jinja, Masese Island. And this time, I think on Friday evening, they have what's called a youth gathering to talk about, to document about this, to come up with the documentary. And I would love to thank Girls for Climate Action. That's Claire Lokeres, Sharon Zaida, the whole team. I don't know you, like you guys, your Jonetta, Joanne, all you guys, you're doing a lot of things. We would love to thank the young people who are into the climate spaces. And also tomorrow we have the National Forum for COP30, which is organized by the CCD, that's Climate Change Department, and that's Anastasia and the team that are organizing, bringing stakeholders at Silver Spring and see some of the things which they are going to be table in COP30, so that at least we see the position when we are there. We don't, oh, this is what we have as Uganda, this is what we are going to present this time. And it's something which is good if the government come up transparently and share that this is what we have prepared and this is what we would love to take forward to table before the global countries, the global world, to see where we are going, which is good for us. At least we are convinced that, and we have confidence in our government. So those are the things. And also Youth Go Green is still currently going on with the greening school campaign within Kampala, Eastern, Western, all parts of it. And if you want free ceilings within your schools, because they are targeting schools, because they have a campaign which they are doing is 20 million youth, 20 million tree campaign. And you can tap into that opportunity and you work with Youth Go Green. Also see that you green your areas and your schools. So with that, I would love to thank you for sparing your time to sit and hear all this discussion. We'll always change that trend that every time we'll give you updates, what's happening within the country, what are some of the climate conferences or environmental conferences that you can engage in, you can participate in. We'll do that, and that's something that we have started for you to know that we are not sleeping as the young people, as the youth, but there is a lot of things which is happening within this period of time. So if you're watching this, please share the information, like it, subscribe to our UCTV Environmental Dialogue, and also make sure that you get to set us, in case of any query you want to understand or you want to know, set us all those queries on our comment section, because we are always there to serve you as UCTV Environmental Dialogue. And we remain here always to be the steward of the Mother Earth. Will not change, but will drive all this course until we see that at least we are moving into the right direction. All right, then, time has come for me to part, because you know everything has its own time. As I remain Dickens Ochero, your host for Environmental Dialogue, I would like to say thank you very much. Asante sana, webale nyo, afoyo matek, bye-bye.
UCTV, good news for all.